And hello to you, Ohio, the greatest football fans in the world. This is the Grange Insurance High School Sports Site. I'm Dan Franzak, joined alongside my partners for this and every sports site this year. Absolutely, it's J.J. Huddle from J.J. Huddle. And fresh off his call from Ohio's big game, former Buckeye captain Jerry Rosinski. And the big game is where we start with the startup school in Olentangy Orange and perennial playoff participant New Albany. It's more of a big event than a big game, as all three Olentangy schools were showcased Friday at Cruz Stadium in Columbus. Olentangy High and Olentangy Liberty were the late game. Highlights of that one coming up, but first the game you just saw, New Albany versus Orange. Former Grove City and Canton-McKinley head coach Brian Cross leading Orange. 14-0 New Albany second quarter. Corey Joe completes this touchdown pass to Chase Swisher. 14-7 New Albany. On the ensuing kickoff, Chase Moore gonna take it. And no, that's not the Columbus Crew on the pitch. That's the Olentangy Orange and New Albany Eagles. And look at them go. Chase Moore gonna take it to the house for New Albany to make it 21-7. Under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Orange trying to rally. And they do. Corey Joe gonna keep this one himself. And he scampers into the end zone for 6 points, 27-21 Eagles. We got a ball game. 4 minutes left. Orange driving again, trying to tie it up. But this time, Joe, no go, Joe. It's a fumble. He fumbles the ball on the fake handoff, and the Eagles recover. That's your ball game. The Eagles would tack on a field goal. The final 30-21. Katie Witham caught up with the victorious Eagles after the game.
Coach, what a great game. I don't think many people expected Olentangy Orange to come out and play the way they did. Did you expect this from a first-year program?
Yes, they played very well against Big Walnut, and we knew they're going to play great against us. They got a great coaching staff, and they got good players. They're getting better each week.
The Eagles, an excellent job here tonight. An interesting second half. How did you feel your team played tonight?
Not bad. We got to learn how to finish teams. When you have a team down 20-7, you got to finish them, and we just got to do a better job at that.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Colin, you had a great game, a fumble recovery, a touchdown. You kind of did everything out there. How did you feel offensively that things went for Eagles tonight?
I mean, we did great. We got all our blocks. We did all our assignments. We did great. We messed up a couple times, but we came together and we won as a team.
What do you need to take from this game heading into next week?
We can't really make so many mistakes. On offense, you know, some people miss some blocks and people didn't get all their assignments all the time, but we did pretty good, and just we need to watch film and get back at it.
Thanks, Colin.
All right, Katie, thanks a lot. Time for our big game breakout. And Jerry, you called the game, and at least Orange made this one competitive.
Well, it was real easy to root for Olentangy Orange out there. I mean, they don't have a single senior on this football team. So out there with sophomores and juniors taking on a New Albany team that's been in the playoffs 3 out of the past 4 years. So that made it interesting. Corey Joe at quarterback for Olentangy Orange. Only a junior. We're going to hear more about this guy. He's 5'10", throws a beautiful ball, also very athletic with his feet. But give credit to New Albany. We saw Colin Show out there, defensive end, tight end, kickoffs, punts the ball, had a fumble recovery. The guy was absolutely amazing. Very, very well-deserved MVP award for him tonight.
Yeah, JJ, the Eagles were 14th in the point standings coming into tonight. They're probably going to move up a little bit, but are they strong enough here down the stretch to get into the postseason?
Well, after they started at 1-2, I think their confidence was a little bit rattled. Now they're starting to feel themselves a little bit better. They've got a big game against Big Walnut coming up. I think, like I said, I think they're going to come up with a 7-3, maybe even 8-2 record, and they will be in the playoffs.
Jerry, the neat thing about this Orange team is that there are only juniors and sophomores. They're only going to get better.
I know it. They sure are. Brian Cross, too, as a coach, you know, comes from one of the, you know, great program at Grove City, but then he goes to Canton-McKinley and does well up there. So he knows what he's doing. He knows how to put together a staff. He's going to get these guys in the weight room in the offseason. And I thought they had one of the better defensive backfields I've seen all year. These guys were physical, coming up and just making plays out there. So a lot of excitement. Keep an eye on them the coming years.
Should be interesting to see. All right, the nightcap at Cruz Stadium paired Olentangy High against Olentangy Liberty in the school's first ever meeting since the school split back in 2003. First quarter, Liberty jumps out first. It's Zach Michael to Cameron Whitner. The deep passing catch for a touchdown. Look at him go. He's got plenty of room. 7-0 Patriots. 14-6 Liberty in the third. And the Patriots take on another score. This is the fourth now. It's a 51-yard touchdown pass to Whitner again. Olentangy would make it close. They scored late but couldn't pull in the onside kick, and Liberty wins it 21-16. And you can see this game now in its entirety coming up Saturday on ONN at 9:30. Eric Thacker, former Buckeye quarterback Justin Zwick, and Katie Witham will handle the broadcast duties. It's Olentangy versus Liberty in a special Ohio's Big Game Saturday night edition right here on ONN, Ohio's channel for high school sports. Back to the action. Number 3 in D4 Steubenville at number 7 in D2 Watterson. Big Red up 14-zip in the third, but they fumble the ball here, and Dominic Clegg recovers. However, they would fail to make good on the turnover. Watterson controlling the ball the majority of the second half, but they just couldn't get it into the end zone. Big Red with some big sacks. John Elder taking down Patrick Nestor here on this play. A minute 30 left in the game. Steubenville going for it on 4th and 1. Dwight Macon keeps it for the first down. They run out the clock from there and make it 56 straight regular season wins for the Big Red. They win it 14-0. Time to go off the hook and get on the phone with Watterson head coach Dan Bajelic, who's gracious enough to join us tonight on a losing effort. And Coach, JJ and I were there at the game tonight. It looked like you definitely had some opportunities there, just weren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, it was that way, Dan. I mean, we had our shots, and we made a couple mistakes, not just the turnovers that we had, but a couple missed blocking assignments, and situation where we had a few penalties that put us in bad yardage situations.
Coach JJ here. I tell you what, it really has to hurt because you got into the red zone so many times. Like you said, just little mistakes, a fumble here, an interception there, turning the ball over in downs. You'll probably second guess everything, but your kids left everything on the field tonight.
Oh yeah, I was proud of our effort. I mean, we play a difficult schedule, and they played a very quality team, and we felt we had a chance to win the game, and like I said, just fell short on a couple things we'll just have to correct here.
Coach, Steubenville tonight, and you mentioned your schedule. Next week, I know you got another kind of big game on the schedule in DeSales. Just what do you tell your team after tonight's hard-fought victory and getting them ready for a big rivalry game?
That's what I said. When you come to Watterson, it's going to be week in, week out, and when you kind of get stuck in those situations, you got to kind of put it behind you and move on and get mentally ready to play a great DeSales team.
Coach, you guys missed the playoffs last year for the first time in a long time, but it seems like, especially from tonight's game, even with the loss, that you guys are bouncing back. And can you judge this year from last year? Do you seem like you're more on the right track, at least from the outside looking in? It seems like you are.
Yeah, I think we are, Dan. I mean, I don't think we were that far off the track last year, too, in regards to those, seniors we had. Just, a couple plays here and there in a couple different games. But, I feel this group has shown, marked improvement from our first week on each week, and that's something we try to strive to do.
Coach Dan Bajelic, Bishop Watterson, thank you for coming on tonight, Coach. We appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll see him down the road.
Yes.
All right, Dan, thanks a lot. Coming up next, we'll march over to Massillon for the Tuslaw CVCA and Massillon, Washington versus Ignatius. We'll have the highlights coming up next.